So I'm gonna post this on video, which is I just did some talks in Maya's language and Spanish, and now I'm gonna do it to English, which I'm gonna post it in our page, which is focused in as an American, as Maya, Incas, Tohonos, Aztecs, or Native American. I think it is important that as we as people, that we can share our thoughts, that we can speak our mind against what's going on, especially in United States, which is concerning me very bad or very important, that we have to create a dialogue and speak our mind against all these rioters, lootings, or violence in our street. Either side, police. I know police needs more money. I think needs better training and needs more techniques. That I've always been saying that just like a teacher, like a doctor, they go to college, they go to university to prepare themselves to become professionals. So I think it's the same thing. The government should be doing this with the police training. They should go to the college, should go to the university, so they can have better technique, better training, better mindset, how to treat any circumstances in the streets. But not defunding the police, I think, is most important thing. But as someone, as a human, I think we saw what's going on in Kenosha, Wisconsin. That was tragic. I think nobody should be killed with 7 bullets and without in back and her back and his back, which now we know that some news they've been saying that the guy was holding some kind of knife or some objects on his hand, and then I think they find out that he was trying to get into his car to grab his gun, but in the car I think there were like his kids and children, and it's really sad. And both parties now, the convention last week, Democrats, they didn't mention anything about this destruction that is going on in Minnesota, Minneapolis, in Wisconsin, Kenosha, and Portland, Oregon, and other states, about this looting, rioting in different cities. Should be any laws that against those crimes, and should be a punishment for those people who have been destroying the neighborhoods. And same thing with the police. If any police that committed any violence that we saw in Minneapolis, that we saw in Kenosha, Wisconsin, they should be arrested next day, or they should be arrested right away, so that a message goes to the community, so they can't come out rioting, looting, burning down our city. The thing is that what we've been seeing in different states, looting, rioting, burning down business, just because the government, mayors, they don't act quickly. They don't arrest the police who committed these crimes against any person, especially the black peoples that they have been killed in the hands of the police. And it's not all the police, but as you saw the Kenosha incident, there were like 5 police and 1 black man. They couldn't jump on him or use a taser gun to put him down. But we've seen what's going on. So it's so sad that those conventions, that Democrats, they didn't condemn only those things, but they trying to make this as defunding the police. I think it's not the solution. I think police need more training, more money, and more good connection with the different communities around the United States. And same thing with the Republican Party. This idea, especially under this administration, Donald J. Trump, that the white supremacy or the white privilege is being really coming out again. Just look back those days with KKK and during 40s, 60s, 70s, 80s. And as you saw, a teenager, 16 years old, he grabbed his rifles, a war gun, and he killed two innocent people that they were protesting. I know we saw some video that one of them is trying to kick him in his head with his skaters, but I mean, still is a teenager, and he got killed. He killed two more person in that teenager. He didn't get arrested right away, and they have a different treatments, as we can saw very clearly in a video that military United States Army, they were giving water to these people, to these killers, to the white supremacists. But there is other thing too, that uh, that a Republican convention that just ended yesterday, they didn't mention all these things too. They were supporting those white supremacists with guns, and they were supporting the Second Amendment, that which is a problem that has gone on in both sides, and condemning those uh, actions when tragic happens, as we've been seeing it lately. But they don't do anything in Congress and Senate. So what is the right way to change things is get out and vote and register as a young generation, or that we can create a better society. And anything that is happening here in the United States, it has an impact in our Americas, in our continent. So, but there's other thing too that I really concerning, or like I've been thinking about the First Amendment, which is the right to protest on the street. But that's the other thing too. The Democrats, they say, yeah, we have the right to protest, fine. And then the Republicans, no, because there is rioting, there is burning, there is destruction, which is, understand that too. When you are protesting, I should be a should, I mean, we need to pass a bill or an act of how to conduct those protests. I know, yes, your First Amendment, but if you go in the street, just walking or protesting without destroying anything, I think it's a protest. But if people start throwing things at a government building, destroying police cars, destroying other private businesses, I think it's not a protesting. I think it's committing a crime on the street. But Democrats or some Republicans, they've been saying that there's the First Amendment. But we understand the anger that has been going on during those last 3 years, and then what was happening during the civil rights when Martin Luther King was killed in Atlanta, like more than half centuries ago. So it's a different time, but the same social conflicts, issues that there is creating this separation ideology in both parties. And then there's the Republicans. And I know they supporting the Second Amendment, that all the citizens, they have the right to have weapons, or they have the right to have war weapons, like the one like the one the 16 years old in Kenosha, Wisconsin, used to kill two innocent people. So why they don't condemn all this act? I know there's a Second Amendment, but how do you apply those Second Amendments? When you should keep the gun in your house, or you should take all your guns and go outside and then start shooting people on the street. I think these people, they should be uh, uh, arrested quickly, or if they start shooting people, they should be, I mean, I mean, the police should shoot them down too. But as we saw, the Kenosha, Wisconsin police chiefs, that he was saying, I think is a racist thoughts or act, that he says some lives, it's not worth it. That was he saying, that some life is not worth it. So basically he's saying that the white supremacy, that the young boy that who killed two innocent people, so his life is worth it than those black people that they've been killed by the police. I mean, here's the right uh, racism under this administration. So they treat a white supremacist that he killed two people with his war gun, but he get a different treatment. He was given, the army, he was giving him water, and he gets arrested peacefully. So it is clear that this issue is still going on, but uh, as I'm not Republican or Democrats, I think I'm siding more with Bernie Sanders or Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez idea, which is progressive in different generation in terms of economic, socials, and in terms of the systemic, that economic systemic that we've been living through, that destroying all the natural sources. So that's the idea, the Green New Deal, that I hope that this idea gets stronger every year, every generation, so one day we can create a better society. But I understand too that this election is coming up right now. Next month and a half, there will be people posting their vote and who's going to be the next president. And here's the other issue: the all this universal voting, that before after those last elections there were no pandemic, so all the people who's allowed to go to cast their vote, they have to go, or they have the right to request absent ballots, which is they send your ballot at your home and then you sign it and you send it back. So the Democrats, they were saying all these things, that universal mail voting, which is I'm against it, because I mean it's gonna create a disaster elections. And if they, and I know it's pandemic, but they should pass a bill or an act in Congress and Senate and executive branch, and then there's the electoral college system. They should, those four branches of that has to do with elections, they should come together. How to do this better? I mean, if they come together and they decided to do this universal mail-in voting, it's gonna work out. But now President Trump, he's cutting back the money to deliver those mail voting in the United States biggest city or states. But I think it's gonna cost a lot of problems, and I hope this election goes very well, and I hope all the people understands that the United States must stand with the law and order, and must stand as the country that whatever happens here in the United States, it has an effect around the globe. So I'm kind of understand the Trump's concern about mail-in voting, but I understand the pandemic side too. So it is very complicated time, and I hope after the November 3rd, maybe it could be like a week later, I hope we already know who is going to be the next president. If not, I think it's going to cause a very bad situation in the United States. I think that's just going to get worse. That there's those 3 months that we've been seeing in Minneapolis with this between the police and the black communities, with this burning, rioting, and this breaking down windows, and this all these destructions. So I hope all citizens, we can come together as a human being and demand justice and a good reform. Like I said, police needs more money, they needs more training, needs more weapons, because we need peace We need law and orders in our community and in our country too. So thank you guys, and I hope you can share this video. It's a lot to talk about it, but I was just posting this, just a little bit of everything and all the issues. But it is hard to stay focused on one issues, but I hope I can come back with other topics, and I know it's a lot to learn from United States, and we are American. We must stay united to defend this land. Thank you guys, and share this video.